lovely gathering brought to us by Tatler and Gen Prime Fertility. Can we please give them a round of applause? Thank you so much for bringing us all together here for this very special moment. And I'm Anne Gauthier, and I'll be your host for tonight's conversation. And tonight's discussion feels especially meaningful. Why? Because I think so many of us can relate to this. So many of us are balancing relationships, career, and family planning. I know we all do. I can see a few women here nodding, also some men. And yes, often while trying to make sense of timing and the future that we hope to build for ourselves. So many are getting married later and delaying parenthood, and conversations around fertility have naturally become more open and truly more relevant in today's modern society, and it should. And while fertility is spoken about more openly today, the Philippines, there still is that pressure, right? That stigma, or even silence around these experiences, especially in a culture where family is held so closely. Can you say that you could relate to that? Yes, right? And that is why conversations like this matter, to help individuals and couples feel more informed, supported, and empowered in making decisions about their future. And there's one thing that really people don't always see is that fertility journeys can be emotionally, physically, mentally, financially, all at once exhausting. And that is why creating very safe spaces like these and honest conversations with support and shared experiences truly matters. So I do want to thank you, and please give yourselves a round of applause for being here tonight. And that leads us, of course, to within this changing landscape, that Gen Prime Fertility is now part of this very conversation right here in the Philippines. And we truly appreciate it because through its network across cities including Singapore, Bangkok, Kuala Lumpur, Los Angeles, and now Manila, yes, well, it is really such an honor because Gen Prime Fertility is bringing that globally connected approach to care closer to Filipinos here at home. But of course, don't just hear it from me. Tonight, we are joined by the founding CEO of Gen Prime Fertility and Rhea Fertility, Margaret Wang. Hi, Margaret, looking beautiful. Please join me and take a little seat so I can ask you just a few questions so we can get to know you a little bit more. Hello. And of course, joining her is Medical Director of Gen Prime Fertility Manila, Dr. Anthony Mark Ancheta. Thank you so much both for joining me. And I think what we really want to know is your experiences, right? So let's kick it off. Let's start with Margaret. So fertility is often spoken about medically, and I'm sure you'll also touch base on that. But there's a lot that people don't talk about, which is the emotional aspect and the deeply personal experiences. So to you, what experiences shaped your vision for a different kind of fertility journey?
Well, thank you so much, Anne. Thank you for hosting us tonight, and thank you to the Tatler team for just helping us shape such a beautiful evening. And I was telling Irene where this is probably the most fashionable crowd I've been in a really long time. So thank you everyone for coming.
It's Tatler after all,
exactly.
right?
Everything's so beautiful. So thank you for this question. Maybe I'll share it by giving a little bit of a background also on myself too. So I'm originally from the United States. I'm from New York. I'm born and raised there. I come from a family of doctors, and so I was joking with some folks earlier, where I was supposed to be a doctor, and vastly disappointed my parents by not becoming a doctor. I pass out at blood. And so, for me...
But yet here you are.
And here I am back in healthcare. Yeah, it's like a return home in that journey. But I was in a long relationship for 8 years, and I was engaged for 2 years, actually. And that relationship ended during COVID when I was in New York. And when that ended, I felt, in some ways I just wanted to find some ways to take back control of any possible thing, right? It was a real shock. And so I ended up deciding to freeze my eggs. I was in my early to mid 30s at the time. This was something my friends and I had been talking about for a while, and ended up doing that actually during COVID, which was not easy as well. When I moved to Singapore, I now live in Singapore, I've been there for 4 years, I actually wanted to freeze a second round of eggs. I moved to Asia by myself. Every real estate agent was like, just you? I'm like, just me? Constant. They're like, you need all this space. I need all this space for just me. And I don't know how many people in this room can relate to that, but it's comical. And I wanted to freeze a second round of eggs. And at the time, it was not legal in Singapore for an unmarried woman to freeze her eggs. Social egg freezing, elective egg freezing has only been legalized in Singapore 2 years ago. So when I first moved there, I met with a doctor, a very well-known doctor, and the first thing out of his mouth was, well, Margaret, you'll be a geriatric parent, right? And I was like, geriatric? I was like, I don't feel geriatric. I don't think I look geriatric. And yet that is the industry term in this industry, where if you're over 35.
It really is, but for every single woman out there. Right?
Yeah, which is wild. And so I didn't love that experience. And I also didn't love the idea that there was this a very fragmented landscape, both from that patient experience standpoint, and also, right, you have to navigate it on your own. You have to hunt and gather all this information and just figure out what is the best path to, get the way in which you want to build a family. So when we shaped what is now Gen Prime Fertility, this really is a vision born out of a lot, actually, from that first experience. I think of myself, I am my own patient. Actually, I have been my own patient, going through the journey, which I'll share in a bit too. And it is one where I hope we can create more integrated, connected, but also much more patient-centric experience where, you show up, you feel really well received and held. And also, it should be a space where you don't feel that type of stigma and shame, and we can redefine what it means to think about building a family here in this region. And so it's definitely the most meaningful work I've ever done. I feel really privileged to get to do it, as hard as it is sometimes to build. But and I'm really excited to share a bit of that with you all tonight. So thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And I think that is just so incredible that you built something that was something that you experienced yourself. And when you first experience it like yourself, there's really just a different vision through it, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, I froze. So I ended up actually freezing that second round of eggs in our Singapore clinic a month ago. And I actually did, and we can get into some of the medical parts of it, but I did ovarian PRP in the Manila clinic here with Doc Ancheta, with the team here. And I'm happy to talk all about that. But I froze also 9 eggs, which is the same number I froze 5 years ago. I didn't expect that at all. I honestly expected half of that. But I also think it's really important to talk about these things openly. Some people don't like to share how many eggs they froze, or don't want to talk about, if they were disappointed or not. For me, I think it is important to, again, normalize that type of conversation.
That's great. And doctor, for you, especially because you've been her doctor in a way, right? I love it. Now, you've had many patients, and I think you're known, you can see on Instagram, that you've taken care of a lot of couples and built the family with them.
Right.
And that is such a meaningful role and just so incredible. Now, after having had all that experience in the fertility medicine field, what have these journeys that you've experienced with them taught you about what patients truly need,
Right.
not just medically, but emotionally, when you come to help them?
So having been in this business for more than 2 decades, I've come to realize that one, no two journeys are the same. So every couple who comes in tells a different story, but in the end, they would want to see finally how they can complete their circle. And the most important thing when you go through these journeys is that you can't do this with just 5-minute consults. And you cannot dismiss any single concern of a patient. All concerns, however shallow they may be, are actually valid. Otherwise, they wouldn't have thought about it, right? So you need to take time to educate the patients, give them their options, and then finally, the decision-making will come from the patients themselves.
And I love that. I appreciate that, taking the time to
Right.
really hear their stories, and it's not one all the same.
Yes.
Now, speaking of patients, So you've worked across, because you said you came from New York and you're very well traveled. So you've worked across very different healthcare systems and markets. So where access to fertility care can vary depending on culture, regulation, even marital status. So what has that global perspective that you have taught you about what patients are truly looking for today?
You know, I think Dr. Ancheta actually alluded to the very thing, which is it is a very personal experience, and no matter where, which market you're in or which clinic you go to, that is what every patient hopes to feel. I've heard so many patients who have gone to clinics say, I felt like I was on a conveyor belt, or I felt like I was just a number, in that way. And yet, and it's everything about, again, how the team receives you in, right? How the doctor engages with you. And then also, how do you feel in that physical space of it too, in terms of feeling like, oh, this is where, I can feel like I'm a person and human for what is probably one of the most human experiences there is, right? To think about.
It truly is.
Yeah. And so, but we are now across 5 countries, as you mentioned. And each country, it's so unique, honestly, with the rules and regulations, but also different customs. I actually just met, maybe a short story, I met this young woman who's writing her senior thesis at Harvard right now on the history of reproductive care. And she talked about this one tradition in Singapore where people put out all these red eggs for untended parents. Do you know about this?
They do.
Yeah.
Sorry, what is this?
Yeah, it's
Please be more specific.
An intended parent will, as they're going through the process, for their luck, will say, let me put out, put all of these red eggs, like they're red dyed eggs.
Colored eggs.
Colored eggs and a temple. And then, they message into this Facebook group or a Reddit thread, and they'll say, come and take the eggs for luck for yourself too. I never knew about that, but I was like, that is, again, that type of way of being is kind of how we also are as people, right? That word of mouth, that engaging that way. When I went through my process, so much of what I learned is tips and tricks, use an ice cube to numb the area before you do the injection, came from just one of my best friends. It's or sometimes you have to read these long blogs, right? I see some smiles in the room. You get it. And I'm like, that is tribal knowledge in that way of how it's passed around. And yet I think there's so much work we can do to centralize all that information, give it one home. And even though all these different markets and, different customs and regulations are different, that experience actually that people are looking for is one and the same of, again, I want to be empowered with the information. I want it in one place. And also I want there to be an excellent standard of care. And so for us, that's really what's paramount.
And I guess the more important thing is they want to be in a very safe space where they know that they will be well taken care of, right?
And I think that everyone can agree that wherever you are in the world, no matter what traditions you have, we all need that community. And it all ties up to that humanity and community. Now, with that, with patients not only looking, because I appreciate that, it's not just only treatment, but it's about a thoughtful space, connected space. So people are not looking only for medical expertise, but also reassurance that they are receiving something that's internationally informed and cared and with support as well, international support. So how does being part of the wider Gen Prime Fertility Network help create that experience for patients in the Philippines specifically?
So more than the compassion that we can offer and also the technology, the most important thing is, and we would like to thank Margaret for this, is that she decided to open in Manila. Manila is now part of a bigger network of clinics, and Manila, Philippines, actually is very ready for a center with international standards of care. So whatever you plan to do probably in Singapore, in Indonesia, in LA, in Kuala Lumpur, you can have it here in Manila. You don't need to go outside of the country.
Can we please put our hands together for that? Because
thank you very much, Margaret, for considering to open here in Manila.
No, it is the same. So the same designer that designed Singapore, designed Manila, JJ Cunha, actually of the Philippines. The same laboratory that we put in Singapore is here in Manila. Same technology. Truly, I think the elevating of the standard here is really exciting for us to be a part of that journey. But it's almost we built Gen Prime because we didn't want people in Asia to feel like they had to leave Asia for services, abroad. We built this here in Manila so that Filipinas and Filipinos don't feel like they have to leave the Philippines for equally great medical quality and standards. And so that really is so much part of the mission. And we're doing that actually in each country. We just signed this partnership agreement actually in Jakarta on Tuesday. And same thing, a lot of Indonesians leave Indonesia, right? They come to Singapore, but the whole mission is actually we want to build something closer to home so that you don't have to travel and be abroad for 3 weeks or have the stress of that.
And the good thing about having a network of clinics is that if ever, let's say you find yourself for work, let's say you're in Kuala Lumpur or you're in Thailand, you can do part of your IVF procedure there or even your egg freezing, and then you can continue it in your base country. We've done cases in the past few weeks wherein we have patients coming in from Malaysia. They do the initial consult here, do the initial ultrasound scan. We just communicate with our partners in KL or probably in Singapore, and it continues. So we are not just limited by the location because it's a global network. We can actually work across countries and across clinics.
Well, Dr. Cho, you remember when I actually had to do my one of my shots here.
Right.
So maybe the quick story there is, so I mentioned I froze my eggs in Singapore, and my doctor, Dr. Steven there, was like, Margaret, there's one needle. Most of the needles were fine. I was fine with it. There was one needle that was very scary. He's like, you probably can't do that on your own. But you know, in my mind, I'm like, I'm sure I can figure it out, right? I'll watch this video, I'll figure it out. And then I was on work travel. I was in Bangkok that morning, and I was coming to Manila that afternoon.
Right.
At 5 a.m. in Bangkok, I'm literally trying to inject myself with a needle, honestly, this big. I was so scared. It was not going in. I didn't want to push it any deeper. I was like, it's getting everywhere. I should have just found somebody to help me with it. I didn't. I ran out of it, and then I told Dr. Ancheta and Dr. Steven, they worked together and said, we have a new one for you, come in. Esther, one of our nurses, our team is right there in the back actually, if anybody has any questions for them later. Oh my gosh, she was like, she made me feel so good. She just showed me step by step, and she jabbed me in the butt, and then and I got my shot. And I just felt like that was...
Can you imagine if there was no coordination, she would have missed that cycle.
And
timing is key, right?
Right. Yes. So she just called me. Can you just try, please, to look for this medication? Sure. We got her back. Come here. Got her injections, and then she proceeded with the stimulation.
And that's why the medical experts and the community is so necessary.
Yes,
right?
of course.
So with that, with Gen Prime Fertility Clinic being here in the Philippines, what would you want Filipinos who come into the clinic to step out having felt?
Well,
Dr.
most
Ancheta.
of the patients who come and see a doctor, they usually just do 5-minute consults. So they come in, they have a lot of questions, they get brushed aside, but by the time they leave the clinic, they have more questions than answers. Right. So in Gen Prime, what we want to do is we want to do an unhurried approach. We want them to feel that this is a safe space. We won't be judging you for any questions that you might have. And what we want to do is by the time you leave the clinic, you'd have most or all of your questions answered.
And they can always come back.
Of course.
How about for you?
I think very much echoing, the 3 words that come to mind are, I want you to feel informed, I want you to feel empowered, and I really want you to feel cared for. And I think we do that in multiple ways. I mean, there's, of course, as I mentioned, content, but also even, I'll give one small example. Our embryology lab, we have a smart film over our window so that you, the patient, can actually look into the embryology lab and understand that part of the process. Usually that's like a bit of a black box, right? Like, how does fertilization happen? How does my embryo or egg mature in the lab in that way? And here we're actually giving you a window literally into it and helping educate and inform. And so that's one small example of just one of the ways in which we seek to do that. Otherwise, I would say, I mentioned this too, where we are a physical clinic network, but we also do have other tools in our toolkit within the broader ecosystem. So we own an AI company, a mental health company, a medical tourism company, and these are all part of that patient journey to, again, either as a decision triangulation tool or to better support the patient on what is a very emotional journey.
Incredible. So really like a journey from the beginning till the very end. Thank you. We appreciate that. And we can already see that we are well surrounded by the Gen Prime team over at the back. So if you'll have any questions for them later, you can ask all the questions. And we also want to do a special acknowledgement, of course, for the presence of Dr. Marinella Abad. Can you please stand so we can just see you? Because they might have questions for you later. We do want to thank you because your work and contribution to Filipinos we're truly grateful for it, for both of you. And of course for you as well. So, so we will be calling you back later.
Okay.
Give us your toughest questions.
Because we'll be opening up the Q&A after and calling them back. So if you have any questions for them, don't hesitate later. But can we please give them a round of applause first? Thank you, Dr. Ancheta and Margaret. Now, we are not done just yet because we are on now to our next panel discussion because we want to hear firsthand from people who experienced what it is to have IVF or any particular treatment. So joining us is a couple who will be sharing their deeply personal journey through infertility, IVF, and parenthood under the care, of course, of Dr. Anthony Mark Ancheta. And they are Lucas and Krista Bersamin. Please join us right here. Thank you for being here with us tonight.
Thank you for.
Yes, is it working? Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Thank
Thank you for having us. Hi, everyone.
And always so nice to also have the hubby here.
Yes, of course.
Yes, it's important too. It's extremely important, right? So thank you. Thank you for being here. Now we're also joined with a woman who was likewise under the care of Dr. Ancheta. Yes, you take care of so many Filipinos. Now, following a major life transition at the age of 40, she made the decision to freeze her eggs, holding on to the hope that motherhood could still be a part of her future. And years later, after meeting her partner, she eventually welcomed her child at the age of 47. Isn't that incredible? Let us welcome Elaine Capistrano. Hi, please take a seat with me. Hi, Elaine.
Hi.
So two very different experiences, but let's first start with Krista and Lucas. Let's start with the reason why you started. When did you first begin feeling that your journey toward parenthood might look a little different from what you originally had planned?
Okay, so in 2009, I was actually diagnosed with hyperthyroidism. So having an autoimmune disease, I already had an idea that I might have some challenges along the way.
I mean, can a lot relate? I have hypothyroidism as well, right? I mean,
It's becoming quite common, yeah.
it is. It's coming quite common.
So
It affects so much.
right. So immediately I thought I want to have kids. I want to make sure I'm healthy. To be able to get pregnant, because I know some have had problems also. My mom had hyperthyroidism also, but I was holding on to hope that I would be like her, because she didn't have any problems having kids. But so it was always there that I knew that we could probably be needing some sort of help or extra effort. Yeah.
How about, you were there to support her, right?
Of course. Coming into the, I think the second year of our marriage was, we were still pregnant then. So that was the time that we knew that we needed help. Because like we said, we were saying that.
Yes.
So you both worked really hard before anything.
Yeah.
Yes.
You knew you had to work on your body.
So like any couple, like when you're newly married, you're like trying all natural things, right? So the timing. So we get a lot of information or help from friends who are also OBGYNs, giving us tips. Oh, this is your fertile window, and you should do this and that, and even like, I don't know, physicians
So you tried
also.
it all. And then the moon and the sun and
Exploring as much as possible. So we did that. But we still weren't getting pregnant for some weird reason. And we were healthy. My eggs were good. He was good. And we still were.
wow,
Yeah.
a lot of we're
We were
hearing
still
a
not
lot of
getting
stories
pregnant,
tonight.
so-
They're confidential.
Am I giving away too much? Just kidding. So
Exactly, safe space.
we were still not getting pregnant. So on the second year, I'm like, okay, you know what? I think we're gonna need more than the timing, more than the other methods, because we also explored like adding medications to increase our chances of getting pregnant, but it still wasn't working. We couldn't figure it out. We were so lost. We were so confused. You get, how it is in the Philippines, a little banter here and there about not being pregnant. So, it hurts you a little bit, not a little bit, it hurts you a lot, by the way. It hurts you a lot. But, I remember my mother-in-law saying, telling us on the first year of marriage, it's like, I think you should start exploring or consulting with a reproductive and fertility expert, which is quite rare because the elderlies don't normally suggest that. But we were like, oh, it's still too early. Yeah. It's still too early. Like, we were just married for a year. But, turns out that was actually valuable advice. That was actually valuable advice. So that once you know already that you want to get pregnant, go to the experts. After 1 year, go to the experts already. So, so we've always had that in the horizon. Like, we're gonna explore IVF. If all of these things don't work out, we're gonna explore IVF. Yeah.
And we can discuss that after and what led you after, to the IVF. But first, how about for you, Elaine? What led you to saying, okay, I think it's time for me to freeze my eggs? You haven't made the decision yet, but what was the story before making any decisions in that?
Oh, well, I was married in my early 20s, and I went through separation at 37. I really wanted to have a child. So when I met Dr. Ancheta at 37, he gave me a new hope that I can still be a mom in my late 30s. That's where I'll do this. I'll do this as soon as I can. He gave me a timeline though. He gave me a timeline that I should do it before 40 because, we all know that egg quality declines significantly as we age. So I did it before I turned 40.
You did it how long before? Because I remember you mentioned you did it like not that long, 1 month, right? Before
1 month
40.
before my 40th.
That's
the deadline. So I did it before it.
So what I find so interesting is so at 37, you already met Dr. Ancheta. And thank you because you encouraged her to take her time as well. And you then did 1 month before turning 40.
Yeah. Oh well, he understood that I was all over the place because I was mending a broken heart. Sorry for this. Yeah.
Nice.
But I was really determined to do that. I really wanted to have a child. So okay, as soon as before I turned 40, I'll do it.
And then what led you to doing it finally?
What led me?
So you at before 40, then you froze your eggs, and then you used them.
I used them before. I met my partner at 45. When I was 45, it was kind of long journey for me. I was not really rushing because my doctor, Dr. Ancheta, was really reassuring.
Take your time.
Yes, take your time. Enjoy your life. Enjoy your singlehood. Yeah.
Wow, Dr. Ancheta. Wow, so progressive.
So that's what I did. I took my time. And then I met my partner. So I think everything
was worth it.
Yeah, I think everything falls everything is in its right time. So when I met him, we stayed. We waited for at least 2 years before we decide. Okay, let's go for it.
Waiting pa.
Because I was still young. In my heart, I was young. At 46, 45, I was still young. So let's wait a little while before we do it.
Thank you so much for sharing that. That's so incredible, right? And at least you now know you can go to the doctor to get some love advice. And you'll meet your Prince Charming at 45. And how about for the both of you? What led you to going, okay, I've tried it all, like you said, every situation, moon, sun, everything, to, okay, let's do this. Like your mother-in-law mentioned, to seek help. And what led you to go, okay, it's time for the IVF option?
I've been talking a lot. So I like to give myself like timelines. So after the second year, I'm like, if this does not work out, we're really gonna explore IVF already. So we did the whole thing, which is preparing the body for IVF. First, I had my thyroidectomy done, and then turns out there was a surprise there because when we had the biopsy came back, it turned out I had thyroid cancer. So it was a blessing in disguise, honestly, to have decided to do this fertility journey because I also had that. So when that was taken away and we worked on my health
And you
to
don't
get
be so
better.
surprised. There's quite a few. I have quite a few friends that ended up with thyroid cancer also at this age. Yeah.
Good thing. The surgery was already done, so it was easier to manage. But of course, there's still that uphill battle of like getting your TSH levels at the normal range and all that. But yeah, so after that, we started exploring IUIs. When you start your IVF journey, you begin with that first. So we did 3 rounds of IUIs. Actually, on the second, when it failed, I already told my husband, I want to do IVF. He's like, let's give it another shot. So when that didn't work out, we already knew that it's already there in that direction. So I was mentally, I was emotionally prepared. I'm just like going all in already for this journey because I didn't want to regret. Time was not on our side. I was 32 at the time.
Which is still young.
It feels young, but
Still very young.
but yeah, doctors would
everything.
say that would be the advanced maternal age also. So yeah, so there's that a lot of like consideration also of the quality of eggs that you'll be having. So I wanted to be proactive, I guess. I wanted to do what I can already at that time because I didn't want to regret anything. I met one doctor before that. I was going through the lymphocyte immunization therapy. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, which is taking the white blood cells from my husband and then inserting it like on me, like how you would do with the allergy testing, correct? Yeah, subcutaneously. There you go. So we did a few rounds of that as well, trying to prepare the body, a lot of infusions and all that. So that was, the start of it.
So with that, what would you say? Because going through it as a couple, you are experiencing it differently. I mean, as much as there's teamwork, at the end of the day, it's different. So, is there what was the hardest part? Was it for you physically, everything that it took over your daily life, or was it emotionally? And for Lucas, what was it for you as a husband watching and experiencing this with your wife?
Well, I can only speak for the many husbands here in attendance. So I mean,
Is there a husband in attendance?
yeah. So
Yes, there are. Okay.
for the part of the male in this relationship, I had to be very supportive and wait on her to be the one to decide eventually on venturing into IVF because I wanted to respect her body as well and the timing that she has. It may, I think she may have been mad at me several times because it
Sharing too much.
I think it's just that maybe I'm telling it to you now na we just respect your body too much and your timing, and that if you're ready to decide on that part, then we will fully support you, and as do all husbands for that part.
But I think that's so important, right?
Yes.
Like everything is again with time. It goes back to time, and as the
respect.
husband, really respecting your wife's timing
Yes.
and what she's ready for.
Yes, and so I had to give it to her that I had to have her decide on that before me chipping in on that decision as well. But I was 100% on board with the decision that she had then. So basically, that's it.
And no, that's wonderful. Thank you so much, because we appreciate that. How about for you, Krista? What would you say was the most challenging, and what kept you grounded and going all that time through the process?
I remember this specific conversation with Dr. Ancheta. He said, with the IVF journey, your fertility journey, the things that you need to prepare for are two things. And the first thing is actually the least of your concern, which is financial. And I say that because the bigger investment that you'll be making in this journey is your emotional investment. And it really is true, because it's quite taxing for the women. You go through so many things. Everything is about your hormones, which affects everything, your emotions, how you think, how you feel, how you accept whatever the outcome is. It's really, really one of the most difficult things, and how you can move forward. Like whatever the outcome is, if it's negative, what do you do next? Like, how can you accept and move on to the next step? And that's, I think, one of the most difficult things, because especially when you've tried everything. Like in this journey, when you've tried, it feels like you've done everything and it's still not working out. I think that's the most emotionally crushing part of the journey. So it was really, really important for us. And I already knew that because I've read a lot of things online of women going through the heartbreaks of IVF, going through the heartbreaks of trying to conceive and all that. So I was telling my husband how important it is for us to find the right doctor. And I say this time and again, finding your doctor is like falling in love. And I did.
Oh, I love that.
I really did. The moment I sat across that table with Dr. Ancheta, I really did. That's what I told my husband. I love him. I really love him.
It's true. It's so important, right? And it grounds you.
Yeah. And that really helped me a lot, because when it feels like your doctor or your team is holding your hand throughout this journey, it just feels like you just literally have to show up. And honestly, you need all the help that you can get.
That's so wonderful. Thank you. It's so important to remember we're not alone, right? Yes, that deserves a round of applause.
Because it's really quite a lonely journey. When I was trying to get pregnant, not a lot of my friends were married yet. So I couldn't ask them. We couldn't exchange notes. There was nobody beside me that I could ask, like, why isn't it working out and all that. And it was so important to have that team, that doctor that you can text anytime, that you can call also, that's so approachable, that takes the time and the patience to really explain things to you, because you will encounter a lot of these medical terms that you never thought possible. Like, wow, you can actually discover things about your antibodies and all that. And you need a lot of hand holding in this journey. And finding the right team is really, really, really crucial.
Thank you. And how about for you, Elaine? What was your experience? Were there certain misconceptions with egg freezing that you experienced, or none?
None at all. I was really open with any procedure, anything, any possible way that I can have a baby. I really wanted to have a baby ever since I was young. So when Dr. Ancheta told me that we can do this and we can then let's go for it. That's really what I want. So there's no hesitation. There was no second thoughts on doing it. Once he told me that you're green to go, then let's do it.
So when you finally became a mother, and then years later, when you reflect on it, what is one thing that you find yourself reflecting on, like a lesson that you're...
Oh, well, actually, it's really one of the best decisions I've ever made. It's still, until now, it makes me cry that, oh, I have a baby at 47. It's really, because in my time, women at that time is really hesitant with things like this. They are not open. They are not, they're very skeptical about things like this. And I will try everything. That's what I told Dr. Ancheta. I will try everything. I will, even if I don't get pregnant after these things, then I said I've done everything. So it's really worth trying.
So it's really giving it your all, no matter how
giving
hard.
it all through.
Thank you for sharing. How about for the both of you? Can you describe the moment you learned? So after all this journey, the struggling and everything, when you learned that it was successful, that you are going to become parents. So do you remember that day, any specific moment that you'd like to share?
Let's clarify that. Is it the first announcement or the second?
It's important to know, everyone, what her first and second announcement. Please explain, elaborate.
Okay, the first one, we were ecstatic, to say the least. It really felt so surreal. Waiting for almost 6 years to hear the words, "You're pregnant." It almost feels like you just can't believe it. You really can't. I remember Dr. Ancheta called. So you get your HCG, your blood drawn to check on your HCG levels to make sure that you really are pregnant. So when they did that, I told my husband, I don't want to go home. I don't want to wait home. I wait at home for Dr. Ancheta's call. I want to go outside so, I don't end up bawling. So he took me to a cafe in Salcedo Village. And then we were just waiting. And then Dr. Ancheta calls and goes, that I need you to come to the clinic right now. In that tone. So I was like, oh my gosh, it failed.
God, tricky.
Oh my gosh. It's because you're pregnant. You need to get your meds and all that, your vitamins and all that. So I'm like, that's when I just started crying and laughing at the same time, looking like a crazy person at the cafe because I can't believe it. That joy of finally hearing that those 6 years of trying, making me a little emotional. But those 6 years of trying, it all comes down to that.
Can we please put our hands together for her? How incredible.
Sorry.
Even our doctors are getting emotional. I love it. And how about for you, Lucas, with the second announcement? Can we discuss the second announcement?
Well, I think we were presented with a thermal scan of the ultrasound. So we found out that there were three sacs. So
yes, I think you heard that right.
yeah. So we were speechless. So she was not crying there. And Eve, as Krista was explaining earlier, that she had so many things done on their first pregnancy, and during this second pregnancy, she had none. So all of the embryos attached, wanted to stay. So eventually, I remember. I hope you don't mind, sir. I'm talking to you directly. It took me 3 days. So I was looking at the walls, and I can see the water from the shower drain. Yeah. So everyone was happy, and it was scary, and it was exciting at the same time. So But I was so scared for Krista because it was multiple pregnancy. So I know the risk because I'm a doctor, and I was so scared. But at the same time, we know that it was a blessing, and Dr. Ancheta was the instrument of God. That's it, sir. So thank you very much.
And incredible, right? So you waited all these years and now you ended up with 4 children. So that's incredible.
Party of 3 to party of 6, right?
Yes, exactly. Now, to wrap things up before we open the floor to questions, would you have any advice, Elaine, let's start with Elaine, any advice to any woman feeling the pressure with timing to freeze their eggs? What advice would you give a woman who is struggling, not knowing what to do now?
Well, I think as early as possible, if you have the means, if you're ready for it, do the egg freezing as young as you can be. Because I'm 40 when I did it, almost 40 when I did it, and still I have a 3-year-old girl, and it's really fulfilling to be a mom. I really wanted. As I always say, starting from this, that I really wanted to be a mom. And as a woman, I feel really empowered, confident that, I transversed all these procedures just to have a baby, sorry. So, right now we have all the options. So why not try it? If you're trying to conceive, if you're trying to just freeze your eggs for your future use, or do it now. It's really the best time, and it's under the care of Dr. Ancheta.
Don't lose hope.
Yeah,
and under the care of Dr. Ancheta, you'll meet the love of your life at 45.
Yeah.
Give birth at 47. Everything is possible.
True, everything is really possible. But you put your heart, you put everything, your heart, your faith. It's really important, in the help of science.
Thank you, Elaine. Thank you. And how about for the both of you? Any final word for someone who is looking into IVF, a couple?
I always say, what a time to be alive, because now women have options. And that's the right term. We can feel empowered to really be more proactive in this journey, that we don't have to wait for a man. Like, if you want to freeze your eggs, you can go ahead and do that. When you want to have
don't need a man anymore.
I mean, when you meet the right man, right? No more rushing. No, but what a time to be alive, because now you have women who can't get pregnant in the past are just like relegated to being called like barren and all that. Now there are ways to find out what's going on, how people can help you, and there's a lot of people that can help you, and finding the right doctors, the right team to do it. Those with a heart is so important in this journey, because it's really, really, really emotional.
Thank
a
you
very emotional journey.
Thank you so much. Lucas, any final word or?
Well, I think I can only speak for the men or the husbands to probably continue on supporting their wives for their IVF journey, and that be open and be that anchor for your wife. It's an emotional investment. So the more that you become invested, or you show your vulnerability that your wife is experiencing, that's probably the time that your wife can only understand that you're also into it. Because sometimes we don't show our emotions, but and
you're going through it too, and it's so important.
Yes.
You are an anchor, so thank you.
We heard so many comments before that hina naman yan, ganyan, parang hindi sila makabuo. I mean, wala pa kayong anak, ganun. So it stings a little into the core, but eventually, if both of you decide on IVF, that's a journey that's going to be well taken. And I just like to say that the comments about Dr. Ancheta before, yung humawak lang sa just hold on to the handle of the door of Dr. Ancheta, and your wife will be pregnant. That's true.
The words of the story.
Wow, okay, that's a lot of quotes tonight.
Or make your first step into the office and you're already pregnant. So that's I think that's true. So
And actually, with that, so thank you so much, Lucas. With that, can we call back Dr. Ancheta and Margaret to join? Let's give them a round of applause for a panel discussion. So you can keep seated. Let's open up the floor to any questions. Yes, please take a seat. Do any of you have questions? Anyone? Questions for any of our panelists?
Very safe space, yeah.
Yes, please. Yes, okay, wow.
One thing that women have to worry about when really we're looking for the right man is the clock, so to speak. And she said to me, the best thing that you can invest in for yourself is to stop your clock and use your eggs. So I've been looking into fertility clinics since I was 25, and I've been looking into doing it overseas. But my question for you would be, what would someone as young as I am have to prepare for when it comes to with eggs? And obviously our fertility journey of going without a partner, which would have been ideal. But if you're a woman, you know that one of the biggest risks is finding the wrong person. So if I were to do this alone, what would be the investment, time, or the things that I need to prepare for psychologically, physically, and emotionally?
So the most important thing that you need to understand is that you were born with a finite number of eggs. And the peak of fertility potential for women would be at the age of 35. That means if you are a bit younger, less than 35, you have good quality eggs and good quality numbers as well. By the time you reach the age of 35, more eggs are being recruited and being wasted away. Until you reach probably the age of 40, 41, 42, wherein the quality of your eggs are not as good and even the numbers not as good. So at 27, you're being very, very proactive. That's actually a very good time. Right? So the most important thing is do it for yourself. Don't do it for anyone else. And if you are ready to freeze your eggs at 27, you can just live your life doing whatever you'd want to do and just forget about the pressures of finding a partner or even having someone to share the remote control of the TV with. Right?
Thank you. Any other questions? Yes, please.
Hi, for Doc Ancheta, I just wanted to ask, because I'm 31, I have a couple of complications. Would there be any conditions that would make a woman not viable to freeze their eggs, or I wouldn't suggest it because the eggs won't be as good or something like that? Anything that would make it not viable?
Okay, so before you even go and retrieve your eggs or save them for future use, the first thing that we need to do is we need to run some tests. So we need to make sure that your reserves are good and there's nothing in your hormonal profile which might affect the way that your body produces good quality eggs. So we begin with that one first. Then once we see that everything is in place, then we give you the option of freezing your eggs once you're ready. But those tests will only be valid for around 6 months. So that means that the moment that you commit that you'd want to do your baseline hormonal profile, we need to do something within the next 6 months. It also gives us time, just in case we see that something's a bit off, like probably your thyroid function test or some tests would be off, then we have some time to work on it before we even start talking about the schedule of doing your egg freezing. Now, going for the egg freezing, it only takes around 10 to 12 days. And you don't even need to, 10 to 12 days. And after 10 to 12 days, all the procedures would be outpatient procedures. You don't need to be confined to the hospital, right? So, but the most important thing is the moment that you go for your egg freezing, someone has to be with you to bring you home because we cannot allow you to drive your car.
Maybe I'll just add to that, and actually maybe for both the questions there. I think, in some ways it's not a binary state, right? It's not like my body has good eggs or my body has bad eggs. You know, it's almost not that. It's more just, and I tell this to young women I meet all the time, which is just get curious about your body. And this is actually the same for before too. I had a manager in my previous job who just told me to get my follicles counted whenever I was going for my next annual checkup, right? You go for your annual pap smear, your annual checkup type thing. Just get your follicles counted in each ovary. Just know how many numbers there are and track them over time. I hadn't done that, actually, you know, and it's just one of those things, just more knowledge for you to know more about your body, baseline hormone as well. And then in terms of preparation, I would say, one, talking to friends about it actually is a form of preparation. I ended up doing it around the same time as some really good friends, and that was helpful to just even have a circle to trade notes with and then also feel supported. Like my friend / business partner, my gay business partner, was the person who came with me to the clinic actually to take me home, you know? I went through egg freezing by myself actually both times. I didn't have a boyfriend either time. And it can feel like a lonely experience. Like, let me not sugarcoat that. And I think that is just the reality of it, because at some point I even felt like I was just a vessel trying to grow some eggs. Honestly, and you will go through many emotions. But I think knowing this, and again, talking about this and hearing stories like the ones you're hearing here, hopefully you go into the experience much more eyes wide open in that way too. And so everything you're even doing right now, like showing up today, is prep in a way. You know, I also did give up alcohol 3 months prior. I did, though, drink a little during my cycle. Some people are very militant about it. I was very chill during it. Actually, I had a drink here and there. And so you do what feels right for you. I was playing paddle. You know what I mean? Like, people will be like, don't move around so much. But, you know, I think
I can see Dr. Abad's face right
yeah,
there.
Exactly. They're like, I don't know, Margaret. But, you know, do what feels good to you. Yeah.
Thank you. Any final question? Yes.
In the Philippines, we don't have any legal laws in terms of going for third party. So third party IVF would include either using a surrogate, using an egg donor, or using a sperm donor. So we don't have legal laws at the moment, but the Philippine Society for Reproductive Medicine, wherein all infertility doctors are a member, we have ethical laws, which says that you are not allowed to use third party IVF, which actually binds us a lot. Now, the good thing about working with a network like Gen Prime is that we have clinics outside of Manila, wherein, if for example we have an LGBTIQ couple who would want to use a surrogate, an egg donor, or use probably a partner's sperm, we can send everything over to our LA clinic and do it there and get them pregnant, complete the circle, and then come back home.
Yeah, I would say that, so that's right. Basically, here in the Philippines, you don't have hard-coded laws, but you do have what the association essentially speak to as norms. And we don't work in the gray area. We don't trip those norms. And that's actually true in the broader Southeast Asia region too. To answer your question, so all of our cryopreservation is done on site. So the whole point of the clinics that we're building is that they're end-to-end. Consult, diagnostics, the operating theater, so retrieval and transfer, the embryology lab, we have some of our embryologists here today, and cryopreservation are all done on site. And that's not true of every clinic, actually. Some people will store them in a central location with a hospital, things like that, but we want to make sure we maintain the quality and we have control over that. So that's one. And then two, your options are, so I stored them in Singapore. For example, Singapore, I can't use them unless I'm married. And Singapore is even stricter than the Philippines, actually. I have to show a true marriage certificate in order to use my eggs there. My plan, I mean, again, speaking just really personally here, my plan is if I really don't find somebody by the time I'm ready to have a child and I can't do IVF in country, I will ship them to another country to do that. And I think that is an option here as well. We can ship out of the Philippines too. And so, you know, I think, and people have stored them for over 10 years, and there's no proven deterioration of the quality from the length of storage. And so every year I get an automatic bill renewal for my storage. Exactly. Yes, I hear some yeses.
It's time to top up.
That's
storage
right.
fee.
Yeah, but hopefully, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. We have room for one last question. Anyone has a final? Yes.
What are your risks or like side effects and emotional considerations when doing it?
For egg freezing.
Oh, okay. I guess let's talk about it's going to be two separate but intertwined considerations. And the weighty one, I think, is more of how emotionally prepared you are to go about it. Here in the Philippines, it's not something which is widely accepted. Why? Magagalit lola mo, right? I mean, why don't you find a boyfriend, find a partner, and all that? So first is, you need to go about the stigma of why do you need to freeze your eggs. If you're doing it for yourself, then that's already one step further. That's the most important thing. The most important thing also is that once you freeze your eggs, you are already taking control of your own time. Because once you freeze your eggs, you can do whatever you want. You already have your eggs frozen as long as you remember to pay for the top-up fee every year. Right? That's the most important thing. So at least now, if you start working every single day, Monday to Saturday, you know that I'm working because I need to pay for my top-up fee. Right? So that's it. And then the next important thing is about complications. All these 20 over years that I've been working in IVF, trying to get the embryos out, getting the eggs out, freezing the eggs, I haven't had any single complication because it's not a like one size fits all thing. So treatment, medications that you need, everything else is going to be individualized. So whatever your friend did will not apply to you. You have to consult with a doctor, myself, Dr. Abbott, so that we can tailor fit something which would be fit for you, so that we can avoid any complications.
Thank you so much. And thank you to our wonderful guests for asking all these questions and really being comfortable enough. And it is a safe space. And you can continue to do so later when we head to the Pavilion 1 for cocktails, of course. With our panelists, they will be there. Our doctors, you can ask them all the questions, as well as Elaine, Krista, and Lucas. And our nurses here, raise your hands, they're at the back there, and embryologists. So they'll answer any questions you have, so feel free to approach them. Now, of course, we are in the Philippines, and we need to commemorate this moment with a photo op. So,
Thank you for hosting.
Thank you very much, Anne. Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for coming over tonight.
Thank you so much all for coming, but we're not done just yet. We set the photo up. So please stand and kindly look at the camera and smile.